Good evening, everyone. I'm Andrew Joyce, and welcome back to William J. Legislative Convoy Chambers. The governing law and our rules direct that we hold a public hearing prior to the passage of certain legislation. Our rules prohibit members of the public from questioning legislators and prohibits us from questioning you. Tonight, the Albany County Legislature will hold public hearings on four items before us. Resolution 334, which is Local Law I for 2022, which deals with a 911 surcharge to support 911 operations in Albany County. Resolution 337, which is Local Law J, which deals with the safe gun storage in Albany County. Resolution 338, which is Local Law K, which deals with weapons in county facilities. And Resolution 396, which deals with the 2023 tentative annual budget. Speakers are called in the order their names appear on our sign-in sheet, and speakers are permitted 3 minutes to express their views. If you are participating remotely, I ask that you remain muted until your name is called. I'd like to ask and thank our county IT staff for their assistance in making all this work tonight, in addition to our legislative staff for their help. I'd like to ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Beston. Husky. Husky. Bergdorf. Chapman. Clay. Cleary. Here. Collins. Here. Camisto. Here. Cunningham. Miss Cunningham. Tamalowitz. Drake. Epico. Athia. Here. Feeney. Here. Fine. Here. Grimm. Here. Joyce Andrew.
Here.
Joyce Raymond.
Here.
Kuhn. Here. Lakakis.
Here.
Lockhart. Patricia. Moriello.
Here.
Mayo. McLaughlin. Here. McLean Lane. Miller.
Present.
O'Brien.
Here.
Hurley.
Here.
Peter.
Here.
Lotsky. Here. Reedy.
Here.
Reinhardt.
Here.
Rickard.
Bill Rickard, present.
Simpson. Smith.
Here.
Tunney.
Here.
Ward.
Here.
Whalen. Willingham.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Clerk. Mr. Deputy Clerk, please read resolution number 334.
Public hearing on proposed local law I for 2022. Local law of the County of Albany, New York, amending local law 6 for 2017, the local law of the County of Albany, New York, repealing the wireless communication surcharge authorized by Article 6 of the County Law of the State of New York, set forth in Albany County Local Law number 9 for 2009, and imposing the wireless communication surcharges pursuant to the authority of Text Law 186.
Mr. Deputy Clerk, please read the first name.
We have no speakers, Mr. Chairman.
Is there anyone else in chambers or anyone in chambers who wishes to speak on proposed local law I for 2022? Hearing none, the public hearing on local law I is now closed. Mr. Deputy Clerk, please read resolution number 337.
Public hearing on proposed local law J for 2022. Local law of the County of Albany, New York, requiring that all unattended weapons in the home be locked or kept securely.
First name on the list, please.
Jeff Wall.
secure stores prevent shootings by disrupting unauthorized access to firearms, and they decrease the likelihood of crime and violence through decreased risk of gun theft. According to everycam.org, 54% of gun owners don't lock all of their guns securely. Local Law J will help simplify the state law where the need for safe storage. Thank you.
Connor Webb.
Thanks to the legislature for allowing residents to speak today. I echo the comments of the person who just spoke. I'm also in support of local law J. I spoke earlier this year in support of local law F. I'm very happy that that passed. I'm a junior at Norwood High School. I work with a gun violence prevention organization, March for Our Lives. I care deeply about these issues. We got our school district earlier this year to approve a policy that disseminates information to children and families about their responsibilities in safe gun storage. And given that this law would strengthen these policies that we've helped establish to a degree in our school district over the past year, on a county level, I very much support it. When it comes to unlocked, loaded firearms in households, kids like me are at significant risk. They allow for unintentional firearm injuries, increased suicide rates, and we know that education and laws, like the secure gun storage law in New York, are associated with significantly lower risks of self-inflicted or unintentional firearm injuries among children and teens like me. 78% and 85% reduced risk respectively. That's significant. What also reduces these rates, suicide rates for example, is accountability. When gun owners are held accountable for their children accessing an unsecured gun, there was an 11% decrease in firearm suicide rates in my age group, which is 14 to 17. And that's also significant. Here's what this law does. If we make this state law universal on a county level, like the state of Massachusetts and Oregon have done, applying it to all firearm owners, we would not only reflect the accountability that is really necessary in the situation and from this issue, but we'd protect more people. Making safe gun storage a minimum to ownership, regardless of circumstance, would make all of us, firearm owners, children, young people like me, safer. So as a student, as a teenager, please, listen to the words of the person who just spoke and myself. Please give this issue due credence and pass local law J. So thanks so much.
Peter Drell.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, members of the county legislature. My name is Peter Drell. I am a resident of the town of New Scotland and a member of the Brewersville Alive and Gun Club. And I'm here to express the vehement opposition of myself, my president, and many of our members to this local resolution. We haven't taken it to a vote yet, to full membership. I suspect when we do, it will be an overwhelming amount of our members. The basis of our concern is this. The Constitution guarantees the right to keep and bear arms for the purpose of self-defense, both within the home and in the public space. This resolution addresses that right in the context within the home. Our main concern is that the requirement that all firearms be locked and secured unless they're in immediate custodianship or access to makes it almost impossible to have a firearm at the ready for the purpose of self-defense within the home in the event of a home invasion. My wife is 32 years as a state trooper. I'm a veteran, U.S. Army, infantry. She has, back when she was doing police work on the street, she has well over 100 felony arrests. There is always a legitimate concern of a home invasion, and in the unlikely and horrible event that that happens, you don't have time to unlock your firearm. You don't have time to fish for ammunition, to put on your earmuffs, to dial 911, and to barricade yourself in a room. It is all happening in the now, and you have to be able to access it in the now. So the prohibition on keeping a firearm at the ready basically eliminates the ability to engage in self-defense within the home in the unfortunate and horrible instance that that could happen. That concludes my remarks, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to be heard.
Thank you, sir.
That's it, Mr. Chairman.
We had someone else who was on the web before Jeff Gall. The first person that called.
I'll confer with the clerk and ensure that they're on and ready to speak. We may have skipped over because they weren't either ready to speak or they were muted or something, but we'll... I got it, Nicole. I'm being told there's nobody on. If they join before the conclusion of any of the other public hearings, we'll make sure that we'll include them, depending on which they wanted to speak on. Is there anyone else in chambers or on Zoom who would like to speak on Local Law J for 2022? Hearing none, the public hearing on Local Law J for 2022 is now closed. Mr. Deputy Clerk, please read resolution number 338.
Public hearing on proposed local law K for 2022. A local law of the County of Albany banning deadly weapons, dangerous instruments, explosive devices, and poisonous gases from Albany County facilities.
Mr. Deputy Clerk, please read the first name.
There are no speakers.
Is there anyone in chambers or on remote who would like to speak on Local Law K for 2022? Hearing none, the public hearing on Local Law K is now closed. Mr. Deputy Clerk, please read resolution number 396.
The public hearing on the 2023 tentative annual budget.
Mr. Deputy Clerk, please read the first name.
There are no, excuse me. How could I forget? Carol, come forward.
When the tobacco mass settlement agreement was reached with the states, most of them, vaping didn't exist. So there's nothing in it to address vaping. However, vaping right now is the major problem that youths in our county and of course elsewhere have. And all you need to do is talk to some teachers and hear what they have to say about what's going on in their schools. And you will hear, I don't mean that this is in all districts, by the way, but the ones where I've spoken to teachers, it's horror story. Just to give you one example, in one school, they're already vaping outdoors on their way into the schools. Now, this is not, I don't believe, an act of defiance. I think it's because this is just normalized. This is what you do. You get off the school bus or out of the car and you vape. So we've got our work cut out for us. Now, prevention work has been made more difficult by two different things. First of all, the FDA. They, sometime in the recent past, had not only okayed the use of Vuse, it's an e-cig device, and they okayed it, but also said, it's good for you to vape this. Well, no. Okay. Not surprisingly, you look into it and you find that Vuse is actually made by R.J. Reynolds Tobacco. No surprise there. What people vape, Big Tobacco makes. Now, in addition to the FDA, we have New York State in this too. They were really doing actually a lot of bragging about that they had finally made smoking, whether it's cannabis or cigarettes, in parks, illegal throughout the capital region. And that sounds wonderful, except for the fact that, one, our county, we had done this 5 years ago in Albany County, and I am including myself in the we on that one because I wrote the bill. And the same bill was then used by Guilderland to make their parks smoke-free. But our bill had in it vaping, cigarettes, marijuana, even though it was light years away from being legalized then, and chewing tobacco, etc. We did it right. Well, the state of New York did not, because their law has to do with smoking cigarettes. That's great, okay? Smoking cannabis, that's great too. It doesn't include vaping. Now, just like when you have a smoke-free area and you put up an ashtray, ashtrays are basically an invitation to smoke. Well, excluding vaping is an invitation to vape. And that will not only hurt the people mostly youths who vape, it's going to hurt any of us who are trying to breathe. Now, we obviously have to do preventive work. And the money to do it is there. Specifically, of course, the settlement agreement money. And I know in the past, several months ago, I said that when this was all agreed to, that there was an, quote, understanding that 50% of it would go toward prevention. Understand that that's a made-up number and has no teeth and no real meaning in terms of being binding on anyone. Now, the opioid settlement, oh, by the way, other numbers have been proposed, and they have no meaning either. The person who has been most vocal about the issue of things going into the general fund, which is what ours is essentially doing, was talking actually about the opioid settlement agreement, and that's John McDonald, and I had a wonderful talk with him, and he said, as I knew but was checking it, this has nothing to do with any counties, it's the state.
Yes,
okay?
time.
Oh, I'm done? Mm-hmm. Oh, he's so mean to me. Okay. We need to adopt some of the things that they did, more on this next time, but there's going to be a collateral benefit to you doing something about this. The collateral benefit is I won't talk about it anymore. That's big. Okay. What?
Next name on the list, Mr. Deputy Clerk.
There are no more speakers, Mr. Chair.
Is there anyone else in chambers or remote who would like to speak on the 2023 tentative annual budget? Hearing none, the public hearing on the tentative annual budget is now closed. That wraps up tonight's public hearings. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Motion. Motion, second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Good night, everyone. Drive safe.